Why the small but strategically important country of the Maldives is forging closer ties with India. Welcome to VOA Asia Weekly. I'm Chris Casquejo in Washington. That story is just ahead, but first, making headlines. Southeast Asian leaders stepped up pressure on China to respect international law following clashes in the disputed South China Sea. But Chinese Premier Li Qiang was defiant during annual Association of Southeast Asian Nation talks on Thursday as he blamed external forces for interfering in regional affairs. North Korea's army said it will completely cut off roads and railways connected to South Korea starting Wednesday and fortify the areas on its side of the border. That's according to state media KCNA. South Korea says this will only lead to even more severe isolation in the future. New Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba dissolved the lower house of parliament Wednesday. The move sets up an October 27th snap election and seeks a mandate from voters for his new government. 40 Indonesian nationals and one Lebanese citizen evacuated from Lebanon and arrived in Jakarta Monday. Indonesia's president has instructed the foreign minister to prioritize evacuating more than 100 Indonesian citizens living in Lebanon as hostilities grow between Israel and Hezbollah. Voters in Indian-administered Kashmir have rejected the party of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in a direct rebuke after his Bharatiya Janata Party revoked the region's semi-autonomy in 2019. National Conference, or NC, the oldest political group in Indian-administered Kashmir, won 42 seats. Modi's BJP won 29 seats. India and Maldives have reset ties that plummeted as the Maldivian president leaned toward China after taking office a year ago. But his outreach to India during a visit to New Delhi comes amid an economic downturn in his tiny country. VOA's Anjana Pasricha explains why.
This friendly handshake in New Delhi comes nearly a year after Maldives President Mohammad Muizzu pledged to reduce India's influence in the archipelago. Now, Maldives is looking to reset ties.
India is a key partner in the socio-economic and infrastructure development of the Maldives and has stood by the Maldives during our times of need.
Muizzu's tiny country is facing an economic downturn and the looming possibility of debt distress as foreign exchange reserves dip. India agreed to a financial support package that includes a $400 million currency swap agreement. New Delhi will also build a new port in Maldives and begin talks on a free trade agreement.
To give a strategic direction to our bilateral ties, we have adopted a comprehensive economic and maritime security partnership vision.
Muizzu's visit signals a turnaround in ties with India that plummeted after he took a pro-China stance.
Once President Muizzu would have realized that, look, things are not going to work out by antagonizing India, and in particular the support that he might need from a country, from a growing economic power like India in the vicinity, I think the calculus would have shifted. That's why we have gradually seen some of these anti-India voices being marginalized in the Muizzu administration.
Earlier this year, Muizzu asked about 80 Indian troops to leave the country. His administration signed a military assistance agreement with Beijing, raising fears in India about China's growing presence in the Indian Ocean. Resetting ties with Maldives will help India at a time when it faces a challenge with neighbors such as Bangladesh, where former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, India's close ally, was ousted in August after student-led protests. Although small, Maldives is a strategically important country that sits along vital trade routes in the Indian Ocean. Anjana Pasricha, VOA News, New Delhi.
Visit voanews.com for the most up-to-date stories. I'm Chris Casquejo. Finally, ain't no mountain high enough for an 18-year-old Nepali man. Mountaineer Nima Rinja Sherpa broke the record for the youngest person to summit all 14 of the world's 8,000-meter peaks. Sherpa reached the summit of Tibet's 8,027-meter-high Shishapangma on Wednesday morning, completing his mission to stand on the world's highest peaks. Thanks for watching VOA Asia Weekly.